like to call a regular council meeting to order Monday, August 5th. We'll start with invocation and pledge.
Lord, thank you for the opportunity to come together to work for the good of the city of Eagle Lake. Time and effort to be productive and fruitful for the city and everyone impacted. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Commissioner Billy?
Here.
Commissioner Meathot?
Here.
Commissioner Freeze? Here. Commissioner Pito? Here. Mayor Wilson?
Yes. Does anyone in the audience have anything that's not on the agenda? Shut up.
I heard that. First of all, I would like to apologize for my outburst, my comments, and my remarks that was made at the last city commission meeting. My conduct certainly did not help an already heated situation. I felt there was just a lot going on. There was a lot of finger pointing, strong accusations, and personal attack about someone's character and reputation. I do not know if any of those accusations are true, but I took offense to it. It's not what you say, but how you say it. And for me, I know I need to apologize to everyone here for my comments and my remarks. I apologize to all of you. I was wrong. And I'll be the first one to admit it.
Ma'am,
Quiet. I know who you are, but for the record, name will change, 790 Norgate Street.
thank you.
Okay. Last month's meeting was a friggin' mess. A lot of people here tonight need to take accountability for their own comments and their actions. It's obvious that there are city commissioners that do not care for one another. But last month, we had a mayor walk out, a city commissioner yelling at people in the audience, telling them to shut up, a city commissioner putting a cell phone in another city commissioner's face, and then city commissioners being absolutely disrespectful to one another. When we walk through these doors, we need to all put our differences aside for the hour and a half that we are here. When a city commissioner tears down another, they are tearing down our community. So all of us are here for a reason. And I don't care if you have been here for 15 years, 15 days, or 15 minutes. We are all here because we love our community and we care about it. And we're all adults. We have got to find a way to communicate a lot better.
The reason I walked out.
I understand, but
I know, but let me explain it to you. I had a heart doctor's appointment the very next morning.
yes,
I'm supposed to be under no stress, no aggravation. We'd already read it. When we get these packets, it's got everything in it that we need. If we have any questions, the first thing we're supposed to do is go to our city manager. Not come out here in the audience and argue and have to listen to the whole rigmarole again.
I understand where you're coming from. I do.
But
Because
that's
my
why I
husband has
walked
had
out.
heart
The
issues
same
for the last
reason
7
I
years.
probably will tonight, because I got surgery scheduled.
Okay.
And I can't do all this.
But what I'm saying is we still have to have respect for one another. We may not like what they say, but we do still need to respect each other here. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I know we've had a very, very peaceful commission for a very long time. When we get somebody up here blatantly wanting to destroy the whole damn city, we're not
Susie, no disrespect, but that last part that needed to be added on. That's now, you said something, and I'm sure that you're not happy with that comment. We need to get along.
Exactly.
If you say certain things, just let it go.
Exactly.
We need to be respectful.
That's how we've got a city manager that we go to.
I
But
get it.
some people doesn't want to go to see the city manager.
I have. So I'm just saying, we all need to be
I'm
respectful.
saying some of our commissioners don't need to.
Well, Susie, we're glad your surgery came through well. We're glad you're doing better. Honestly, we really are. And we wish you the best.
Just to tag on to that, we all need to check our egos at the door when we walk in.
Yes.
We're here for the betterment of the community.
Yes.
And we're here to make the city better. When we're infighting amongst ourselves, and I've let it go, what happened at the last meeting. I appreciate a lot of support I got from the community over the past month, but we just need to let it go and move on, because we need to do what the work of the city. We're building something great here. You know, we couldn't for the longest time because we didn't have the money, but right now we're starting to move stuff forward, and we're starting to build something good. It takes time, but we just need to let it go. We all need to check our egos at the door and just get along. And for the sake of the city, because that's what we're all here for.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Good evening, Bernard Pito, 119, Gerber.
Sorry, I apologize. New system.
I know I talk fast with espresso, but this is.
You're gonna keep it ready.
So Bernard Pito, 119, Gerber Dairy Road. I'm glad your surgery went well. So I come from a smaller community, Homestead, back in the day. Where it was horse country. My wife comes from Davie, which used to be a one-light town and everything. So when we moved to Eagle Lake, you know, we wanted to come to a small town and kind of contribute and everything, because we seen the potential of Davie. If you went to Davie back in the day, they had one lunch there, a bunch of horses and cows everywhere, and the rodeo. And we see the potential in a small city, it's growing, and you know, after 7 years, we wanted to contribute to the community, and that's the reason why my wife is commissioner and everything, because we see the potential. Same thing with Homestead. When I grew up in Homestead, it used to be a one-light town, and we see the potential of how that can be done. So, and another thing too, I know now we have money and everything, but was there ever a strategic plan or something in place on the direction of the city? I was just wondering.
Not a strategic plan per se. Like I said, up until a couple years ago, we had no money.
Yeah.
You know, and you can see that through the audit and stuff like that, if you take a look at that. We have not done it. We've just been going, looking at our priorities that the board set for us a few years ago, and we've been going with that, but we do not have an official strategic plan that we do.
Yeah, I've seen some smaller communities, thank you, Tom, and I've seen smaller communities where they come together and they have like community advisory board to have input on the direction that they want. I know Bartow has one, and then they usually hire a consultant that comes in and kind of has you guys sit together and kind of see where you want to head and the direction you want to head and everything. You know, I see a lot of potential here in the city. I love Eagle Lake. And that's all I wanted to say, see if we can do something to kind of move the city forward on what best fit for everybody. Because I know we have new communities, and then we have the people that have been here forever. I bumped into a couple of people that have been here 50, 60 years, which is amazing. So, but that's all I have to say. I appreciate you. I'm glad you feel better, actually. So.
Well, you know, we used to have a committee. Matter of fact, we had two.
Yeah.
We had one for the CRA. It was a citizens committee, and they made recommendations to the CRA. Then we also had a citizens committee for some council.
Yeah.
In other words, if they come up with ideas, one of them would come up and speak and tell us if they had any good ideas, and we all listened. And this went on for years.
Yeah.
But then some of our good volunteers has passed away, and it just kind of went away. And we've asked, Corey's asked, when he was mayor, to get the committees back, but we got no volunteers.
Well, if you start committees, I'll be your first volunteer. I don't plan on dying anytime soon, so, you know.
Well, it'd be good if you could get a committee.
I'll try to find those.
We're willing to listen.
No. Okay, all right, thank you.
Anyone else? Special presentation. Staff report.
the summer. So, our summer program started on June 3rd, and we just ended it. It was supposed to end on July 26th, but we had such a good response that we pushed it out another week, so it just ended last Friday. For summer story time, which is particularly for babies, toddlers, and their caregivers, we had 6 different story time programs with 39 participants. For the school-age kids, we had a summer STEM lab, which is all science experiments, and we had 7 of those with 262 participants. After the summer STEM lab, we had a craft, and we had 8 of those, so that got pushed into that last week, with 276 participants. And then we had a scouting hunt every week that we put up, and we had 263 people come in and do that inside the library. And then we had 19 kids who participated in our National Parks Reading Challenge, and together they read 23,751 pages. With 2 girls, my only girls, who finished the entire game card, and one read 5,670 pages, and the other one read 4,725. So I know they were readers.
That is fantastic.
I know, isn't it? And the last one, she actually read that in a week. So I was very, very surprised about it. So. And we also participated in the Polk County Library Cooperative Minecraft Challenge. And during our challenge, we saw 286 kids who came in and got stickers and got prizes and all of that. And then for items in the library, in June, we checked out 2,255 items. In July, we checked out 2,419. So as from October to July, we have actually checked out 18,093 items for that whole entire time. In June, we saw 1,374 people come into the library, and in July, we saw 1,314 people come in. So from October to July, we have seen 9,964 people at the library.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
All right, good job. Keep up the good work.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Kristen, that's really good of you. You really bringing the library up. When I first started, I don't think there was that many people that ever came into it. So. Last month, we had 17 cases brought before you. All 17 have been closed due to property owner compliance. This month, we've had 58 new cases since the last meeting. 28 for high grass, weeds, and overgrowth. 7 for building permits required, building offenses. 14 irrigation violations. 2 illegal unauthorized water connections. 1 malt beverage sale during restricted hours. 1 occupied RV in a residential district. 3 derelict vehicles. 1 commercial vehicle parked in a residential district, and 1 vision triangle obstruction. I performed 19 lien searches, 18 fence permit plan reviews, and 28 fence inspections. We've permitted 15 new homes, 3 for renovations, 11 accessory permits, 2 re-roof permits, 2 commercial building or structure permits, and 8 miscellaneous trade permits. Any questions?
Is everybody good and compliant now?
They tend to come into compliance. They don't want to go see the magistrate, so we haven't had a magistrate hearing in a few months. So that's good for us and good for the community in a way, because the individual, if they come to the magistrate, chances are they're going to get a fine established, and that fine could cost them, and it could be monies that they could use to repair or fix the issue. So if they can come into compliance, it's a lot better for them and us.
All right, good job, buddy.
Hello, good evening. So the stats I'm going to present tonight are for the month of July. During July, we ran 226 calls for service. We arrested 97 individuals. That is comprised of 149 misdemeanors and 14 felonies. 66 of those subjects were charged with various traffic offenses. 6 different subjects were arrested for possession of marijuana and drug paraphernalia. 2 subjects were arrested for possession of methamphetamine with intent to sell, possession of drug paraphernalia. 1 subject was arrested for possession of methamphetamine, drug paraphernalia, trespassing, and possession of oxycodone. 11 subjects were arrested for warrants. 4 people were arrested for battery. 1 person was charged with theft of utilities for illegally tapping into the city water. We had 3 DUIs in July. 1 subject was arrested for ag assault, domestic violence, false imprisonment, resisting without violence. 1 subject was charged with loitering and prowling and disorderly conduct. 1 subject was charged with criminal mischief. 1 subject was arrested for violating the county ordinance, soliciting in the roadway. Also, Lulu's Pancake House was burglarized by some juveniles. We arrested them, I believe, the next morning after we got them identified. One of our guys, Deputy Rivera, has went to Safe Schools. We conducted interviews, and Deputy Collier will be the new deputy starting. Technically, he starts today, but his shift doesn't start until Wednesday. He's going to be moving to night shift, and then Nicely is going to be moving to day shift. We conducted 23 warrant checks, 304 traffic stops, 23 field interview reports, and just over 1,200 building checks and control notices. You have any questions or anything that's happened around the city that?
Didn't you also say a life when you were on vacation?
Yes. Yep, so I was in St. Pete on vacation, and there's a pretty significant traffic crash in the roadway right behind, and everybody in the restaurant started yelling and screaming about a fire, so I sprinted out, and there was some unconscious people and 2 vehicles that were on fire, so we were able to get inside the cars and pull them out before they burned up. Unfortunately, one lady wasn't able to be saved, but we did save 2 of the 3, so it just, the stuff my wife has been through over the years is, you know, it just seems to be nonstop, but I mean, I truly believe God put me in that position at that time. I literally was nagging my whole family to go out to eat. It was late, and I truly believe that I was put there for that reason. So I'm happy to that. So.
All right. Thank you, son.
I just have a couple quick items. That's in my report. Back in June, we approved an agreement with the county on Green Acres, the area of the Green Acres, in order to relocate the water lines from within the ditches to the center of the road, and then the county's going to come along and pave it. They got the bids for it. Our share of that project is going to be blank glasses on. $523,950 is our share of that. It's an unbudgeted amount, but it's something we were looking to do anyway. And then once the county paves those roads, we couldn't move the lines anyway. So it's in our best interest to do it now. And as we all know, those that have been here, we've had people from Green Acres come in about the water quality, about the breaks in there. Esther, if everybody knows Esther, she's been coming in concerned about it. What this will do is this will take care of that situation and make it better for them out there and the quality of the water, because she was always complaining about the
I wonder if they'll make that road a little wider.
That I don't know. We're already looking at our water lines, but for all the roads within that development, they're going to be moving up, taking the water lines out of the ditches, putting this. Brian, is it a 6-inch or a 4-inch?
Both.
Yeah, both. Yeah, both. Yes. We're going to put them within the center of the roads, come off with laterals, so they're going to have good, clean water and new construction out there to benefit them. So that's one thing I want to point out. Brian and I did meet with several individuals through the course of the month. We've hired 2 new people for Public Works. We still have 1 opening. They both started last week, and they seem to be doing well. And hopefully that they stick around and we move them, they move forward. And then the only other thing I want to have, and we'll get into this later, with Public Services, we're extending their looking at extending their contract. We're looking at no significant increases to our trash accounts right now, and we seem to be in the middle of all the other costs, all the other cities with what they're charging as well. So we'll get into that later on in the meeting, but I just wanted to call attention to that. Bless you. Now you want to speak.
Item C, consideration of the appointment of Corey Kohler to the CR Commission to fill seat 7. I'm making a motion.
I'll second it.
We need roll call, or can we just do all in favor?
All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Nay.
Welcome aboard, Corey. Item D, presentation certificates. Commissioner Pena.
So my family and I went to the patriotic celebration and we had an amazing time. We stayed the whole time, so that gave me a unique vantage point to be able to see some staff members that were, in my opinion, just going above and beyond, and I felt like they needed to be recognized. I know from asking around over the weeks leading up to the event that Daniel and Sammy were the ones who were putting most of this together. And as staff members doing that, that's a lot of weight to put on their shoulders and volunteer to do that. And so I have found 5 staff members that I feel, while watching them throughout the entire duration, from the beginning, the middle, the end, staying late, that they deserve certificate of appreciation or letter of commendation. And so as a commissioner, that's something that I get to do, and I definitely want to make sure that I do that, and I like to offer people where honor is due, because I know in this world, people flow by and they don't tell people that they appreciate them. So this certificate that I made up, certificate of appreciation and grateful service for going above and beyond with the patriotic celebration for the city of Eagle Lake, Florida, 2024. I hereby present to Daniel Jensen, I'm gonna say all of them so we get them loud and proud. Samantha Etheridge, Brian Fletcher, Gary Stroud, and Brian Nadu. I think I said that correctly. With this certificate of appreciation presented by Commissioner Kristen Pena on this 5th day of August 2024. So if they are here, and I think they all are, if you'd like to meet me down here by the stairs, and you can take this with you, and I appreciate what you did. The event was amazing. Okay, so this is Daniel. I appreciate it. It was amazing. Samantha. Yes. Brian Fletcher. Thank you, sir. You did so great. It was amazing, beautiful. Gary Stroud. You made it. Yay! And last but not least, Brian Nadu. Am I saying it right? Okay. Well, I appreciate all of you. It was amazing. Thank you.
Public hearings.
Matt,
Okay, sorry.
may I say
I
something
didn't
about
mean to
this?
look up.
That's all right. I think I can speak for most of us. We appreciate the certificates, we appreciate you recognizing us. We do work hard. Mayor Wilson thanked us all individually at the celebration. So then Commissioner Metosh, ex-Commissioner Clark. They all appreciate us there. It's a thank you personally. Don and Tom both thanked us for doing what we do. And although it's nice to be appreciated, we do this for the community. We don't do it for the award. We don't do it for the certificates. We do it for the community. And that's all I got to say. Thank you.
We all do a fantastic job. Public hearings, item A, consideration of the first reading of ordinance number O-24-09.
Mayor, ordinance number O-24-09 is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Eagle Lake, Florida, amending Chapter 16, Article 2, Section 16-27, water rates of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Eagle Lake, providing an increase in residential and commercial water rates inside and outside the city, and amending Chapter 16, Article 3, Section 16-59, sewers rates of the Code of Ordinances, providing an increase in residential and commercial sewer rates inside and outside the city, providing for conflict and severability, and providing an effective date. And that's it, Mayor.
Make that motion.
Second.
No motion in a second. Discussion. Is Bartow still giving us 30 days notice when they go up?
Yes, they do. Yeah, and we have not received any notices of any increases from Bartow.
Anybody else? Roll call.
Commissioner Metosh.
Yes.
Commissioner Billings.
Yes.
Commissioner Freeze.
Yes.
Commissioner Peta. Yes. Mayor Wilson.
Yes. Can't we build one of them down sewer plants?
Brian, say hell no. I'm sorry, heck no.
How about you, Brian?
They come and go on the sewer plant.
No.
I said.
Yep, they keep going up, all those.
Yeah.
Item B, consideration of the first reading of ordinance O-24-10.
Mayor, ordinance O-24-10 is an ordinance amending the City of Eagle Lake, Florida Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 12, Solid Waste, Article 3, Collection and Disposal, Section 12-54, Service Fees, Regular Garbage and Trash Collection, to update the charges for solid waste collection and disposal authorized therein, providing for conflict, severability, and an effective date. And that's it.
I'll make that a motion.
Second.
Now this, our citizens ain't going up, right?
That's correct. Oh, it's about 12 cents.
4 cents?
12. 12 cents a month.
You gonna break up?
$1.44. It's going to be $1.44 per card.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Commissioner Metosh.
Yes.
Commissioner Billings.
Yes.
Commissioner Freeze.
Yes.
Commissioner Peta. Yes. Mayor Wilson.
Yes. Old business, item A, 24-25 budget.
Okay, I've got the updated numbers for the budget, and both of them, the two biggest ones that we were waiting on, one was the ad valorem, and the other was the sales tax that the state projects. There's some smaller ones that are still out there that we have not received yet. Just to quickly go through this, typically, you know, our goals and our objectives are maintaining all current fees and taxes within the general fund. Only a 5% increase in both water and sewer rates. This is because of a rate study that was done last year or the year before, in which they actually recommended 10%, but we're only doing 5%. And that's due to that water cooperative that we have, that we're working with to get additional water, and the costs that they're going to put upon us as we move forward. We're looking at increasing staffing levels to address our current needs based upon our current growth trends and your statute budget. In an effort to be more competitive for experienced employees, we're looking for the city to pay 75% of dependents' health care. We do have the money in the budget to do that. We are competing with Winter Haven, Bartow, and the county. They provide some sort of offset of healthcare for spouses, and we think we'll be in a better position moving forward if we do that. That's included within the budget. We also, try to pay down the city's utility fund debt and prepare for our water cooperative expenses. So every year we always look to try to pay down some of that debt because more and more debt's going to be put upon us by the water cooperative as they move forward. And we're also looking at providing matching funds for grant opportunities. And if anybody has any questions about it, just let me know. But some of the biggest changes that we're looking at moving forward within the budget, the general fund budget is expected to increase by 29.4%, and most of that is due to the ad valorem. When that comes in, we need to budget 95% of that, and that's what we've done. The utility fund budget is expected to increase by 15% to $3.6 million. This is due to the 5% increase in the water and sewer rates to offset. What we're trying to do is slowly increase the rates for the water and sewer so that when the water cooperative hits us hard, we have funds that we save in order to offset to make it not such a big debt moving forward. We're also looking at 5%, pretty much a 5% increase for employees. We've done the consumer price index, and that's right now at 4%. So if we go anything for less, our employees aren't moving forward. They're falling behind a little bit based upon the current inflation rates. And typically what we do for supervisory staff, which is me, Brian, Dawn, and Kristen from the library, we usually get a little bit more because we do more management responsibilities. Now getting into specific, and as we always do, I always look at a 20% increase for healthcare because we don't have the rates in yet. So we always assume 20% increase. Some of the major changes some of the major things we're looking at, we're looking at putting about $450,000 in reserves for this budget within the general fund. We're also looking to increase health insurance costs throughout the budget, and also including within certain budgets like Park and Rec, streets, including a 50% for capital projects in the future. As we go through the course of the year, if things come up. I know Commissioner Peter talked about the pickleball court. There's money in there to evaluate that as we move out through the year to see whether or not we can afford it. We can do that. That's pretty much it that we're looking at. We're also looking for the street fund. We want to continue to promote our paving that we've been doing over the past couple of years, because as you know, for 15 years we did no paving. So we're trying to do as much paving as we can to get it all caught up. We're including approximately $200,000 within the streets budget to continue doing that as well.
I'm glad you're going up on the healthcare. That was one thing that was holding us back.
Yes.
It was hard to hire somebody when you got no healthcare, and our employees has went years with not a good plan.
Yeah, we're still looking at, contribute something to it, but city coming up and trying to support our employees and try to, like I said, we're in close competition with a lot of bigger cities around us, so we need to be competitive in order to attract the right employees to us.
Good. You need a motion on that budget?
Conditional approval, if that's okay.
Yeah, we wouldn't do a motion until September, but if the consensus is fine, if you want to do a consensus so Tom can move forward with the numbers, that would be perfect.
Yeah, like for the two positions, if you give me conditional approval, I'll be able to start looking at additional help for the office staff, additional help for Code Brian, and we've got an open position within the Public Works Department that we're looking to push forward to, and then with an understanding that we're providing some kind of health care, we can better off promote this when we talk to people.
Yeah. I'll make a motion that we take into consideration and let Tom move forward with the budget as planned.
No motion, just a consensus,
Just
meaning
Yeah,
that you
just a
agree.
consensus.
Yes, as long as the commission agrees, he can move forward.
Right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any nays?
Nay, I just would like I've said before, the workshop where we sit together and he goes line by line through everything, because it is the city's money, so I say nay.
Instead of going line by line, if we've got, if there's a certain one that you want to go over, if you get with the city manager, he can explain it to you instead of us all having to sit and go through it. Because we have all had our individual questions, and that's what we got a city manager for, is to go to him and say, what's this? How come this is increased? How come this is decreased? And he can provide you with last year's budget, so you can compare the both and then make a decision. But I mean, at least go to him first before we sit here and go line by line through this whole budget.
Well, that's what most cities do though, with the
Well, we don't do that, we've never done that.
Okay, with that, I have a higher expectation with the money, and so I'd like to know line by line, and it's usually cities do a workshop
Okay.
with, so that's why I'm saying no right now.
Yeah, well, just see the city manager, he'll go over them with you. Cause he's never got a problem going over anything with any of us. Okey dokey, new business. Item A, approval of the conservation project agreement relating to the development of Polk Regional Water Port. Guess we need a motion on this one, don't we? Yes.
I'll make that a motion.
Second.
I have a motion in a second. We'll roll call, or will all his do you?
Heather, you found an all in favor, all in favor, I guess.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, all in favor is fine.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Approval of the amendment to agreement between Polk Regional Water Corporation and the City of Eagle Lake. Polk Regional Water Corporation, Hartford. Protection.
Make that a motion.
Second.
Got a motion in a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any nays? Consent agenda. Items A, B, and C. Approval of the regular city commission meetings, approval of the financials, approval of the bad debts of $895.94.
Make that a motion of consent agenda A, B, and C.
Second.
Got a motion in a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 So we're voting on 3 things at one time, including bad debt.
Yes.
If there's one you want to discuss, go ahead.
Well, one is just approval of the city minutes, one is just, and then financials and bad debt is thrown in there, so.
But they're all under consent agenda, that's why it's just one. But go ahead, if there's one on here that you want to discuss it.
I'm fine with, voting for the regular city commission meeting, but then we're throwing financials and bad debt and a number in there, so that's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna vote for that one, if that's a financial number that I haven't
Okay.
discussed.
City attorney?
I have heard back from the attorney that's heading up the Form 6 litigation and trying to get some updates for y'all so I can bring something every month. The update is there really isn't an update, but they're hoping that the next maybe 6 months or so that there could be maybe some movement. So I might not have an update for the next couple of months, but we'll keep you posted if anything exciting happens.
City commission, I'll start at this end.
Okay.
Randy?
Good.
Yes, so I was, I I'd like to be able to, because I know I'm new, Commissioner Freeze, I'm not sure how soon before I came on, you came on. But I think we should do like a commissioner meet and greet with the city and the residents. And that way they can ask us questions face to face. I know some cities do like coffee with the commissioner and that sort of thing. So I know that would have to be, because of sunshine law, it would have to be, other people would have to be there as well. But I think that might be a good idea to be able to open it up like on a Saturday or something, or a Sunday afternoon where, you know, we either meet in here or in the senior center and people can just openly ask questions about what we think about certain topics. I know there's a lot of misconceptions flying around online, and then people can just ask their questions directly. So I'd like to, I don't know if I have to make a motion for that because it's not really, it's more of an unofficial kind of thing, but I think that might be a
What day
good.
did you wanna do it on, a Sunday?
Maybe a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon, just something
Sunday,
coming up.
most people here in Lloyd go to church.
Well, I go to church too, that's why I said Sunday afternoon, so I don't know if people go in the afternoon, but, or even just a Saturday, you know, coming up here in the next month or so, where, even if we did it twice, where we offer it to people and they have an opportunity to come and, you know, share things that they want to see done in the city, and then also things that maybe they have concerns with and they've heard things and they just want clarity, so. Yeah, so it would be like a commissioner's meet and greet, and any commissioner that would like to do it could, so everybody wouldn't have to do it.
Okay, can I make a suggestion? Can you bring this one up at the next meeting? Because tomorrow I go to the doctor, and I don't know what day he's got surgery scheduled for, and I don't want you to make it and me not be there.
Okay.
Because I mean, I don't know how long I'm gonna have to stay, or even if I'm gonna have to stay. I mean, I just don't know, it's heart surgery, so.
Okay, so you want me to bring that up so
Yeah,
can that
that's
be new
fine.
business for September? Is that what we could, or old would be old business, because it's new now?
We can put it under, we can put it under old business if that's.
Yeah, and maybe in the meantime, your husband can get us up a committee and we can try to make it at the same time.
Okay.
We do need a committee. If you'll notice our little Eagle Lake Ink pens, that was put together by our CRA committee. They're the ones that came up with that idea. The city commission didn't, the CRA did, their committee did. And they done a good job. And it would be nice if we could get another. I'm all for it.
And then another thing is, as we're coming up like on more of the end of the year and people doing holiday kind of traditions and things, for next month, I'd like there to be consideration and conversation about Trick or Treat Lane being moved from the nighttime and making it more of a fall festival. I know last year when I drove through, there were thousands of people and there wasn't enough lighting, and then everybody spills over and they trick or treat into the neighborhoods, and that's a lot of strain like on those neighborhoods, and then driving through. I mean, I know most people will do trick or treating in their own neighborhood, but from what I saw last year, it was, and after talking with Tom a few months ago about that, there wasn't really parking for it, and it just is a safety issue. And so I know other cities will do like fall festivals. And then that way we can do that on a Saturday or a Sunday, one that we all can agree to, and then it's during the daytime, so you're not worried about, you know, we can utilize the parking what we always do along the train tracks, and then it's safer for people to walk over, and that way people aren't parking in front of houses and all, you know, it's not a city sanctioned event, having it be on Halloween. And so for the next month, as we get closer, I think moving it to the daytime would be able to accommodate everybody a little bit more, doing it in the daylight with, you know, parking and getting vendors and, you know, things. You know, Tom said that there was a church that does like a hay ride, and so like that's kind of dangerous to do, you know, at night and that sort of thing. So I think it kind of opens it up for more people, especially with the new people moving in, that it'll kind of be even more people can come to it, you know, as what came to the patriotic event. Hopefully there won't be rain, but I think that might be a suggestion to kind of move with all the growth of the city and the people that come from other cities as well. So I'd like to do that for next month, is have
I'm
that.
not for that one now. I'll go for a lot of stuff, but kids like to go Halloween. there's 100 darn kids out walking the
Yeah, well, they're
street.
still gonna do it on their own, it's just it wouldn't be a city sanctioned thing.
As a parent, I do not, well, I don't now, my kids are grown. My grandkids, I do not want them traipsing all over the neighborhood anyway. There's some places I don't want them to go. There's certain people's houses my grandkids go to and some they don't.
So they can do that at the fall festival, they'll just do it during.
You know, most people
daytime.
work. And
Well, I'm talking about like on
Halloween's
the weekend.
Halloween, it's a nighttime event. They love dressing up. We get people from other cities that come in that talk about how nice it is, knowing that the candy that their children are getting is not tainted. So no, I won't agree with that one.
Well,
I mean, I'll go along with a lot of stuff that.
So I'd just like to put it on for, the next month, because I have more, like, supporting information for that. If I can just put that on for consideration and voting for next month.
We can do that right now. There's a lot of people here, how many people out there would like to see Halloween go away?
That's not what she's saying,
That's not
man.
what she's saying.
That's exactly what she said. That's not what she's saying.
She's saying to separate it.
She's saying
and
to
actually
allow,
show some
she's
type
saying
of-
to allow the communities to have a Halloween in
How many
their
people
local.
want Halloween
Ma'am,
to stay just like it is?
that's not
We've
what
got
she's
our
saying.
children
You're
that
asking
comes
us
out
to give
here
her
and
opinion on it.
plays. Usually we have, try to have a DJ out there for the kids. They get their pictures taken and they get good candy.
Is it two different events or is it the same? I mean, what's the,
She's saying to have a fall festival event during the evening, afternoon period where it's safer for kids and families to be walking around during the overall event instead of at night. And that allows the local neighborhoods to have a Halloween and go to your neighbors and get candy on Halloween.
No, I like it the way it is. Plus with the new stop signs, it'll be even safer. I agree.
thank you for the stop signs.
I agree to keep it the way it is. I've already started buying candy. I end up probably with 25 bags of candy,
I
300
need a
pieces
second morning.
in each bag. Okay, I decorate my whole yard. I love it. The kids are there. You know, they do the hayride and everything and stuff. I like it the way it is.
Hey,
Mayor,
I know you get bombarded on that.
Oh my God.
Mayor, Susie,
I
Mayor,
got as much candy at their house.
if we're gonna get into a dialogue, can we get people to come up to the podium?
Crap on a crack.
They have as much candy
We're
in her
done.
house
We're done.
where she lives now. They want to see if they go like.
So I would just like it to be put on for voting, because I have more background, information about it for next month.
You can put it on there. It won't take but a second.
Why, how do you know
Okay.
that? How do you know it won't pass for a second? How do you know that? You can't just blanketly say that out loud. Is
You're gonna
that-
make a motion for it, and either we're gonna go for it or not.
But you just said it won't second, like you
It
know that.
won't take a second.
How do you know?
Listen, it won't take a second.
But it just takes one of them to say it, so how do you know unless you're in their mind that they're not gonna second it?
Because they've lived in Eagle Lake a long time, and they understand what people want,
So you already know what the voting would be?
more than likely. Did you see anybody raise their hand and want to move it and not have Halloween?
Because I'm not bringing that proposal up
Okay,
right now, it's
look,
for next month.
Not today.
So that I'm still on my thing.
We got somebody up here.
Samantha Etheridge, I am the one who does most of the event planning with the young. Unfortunately, we can't wait until the next meeting to bring something like that up because we have to start planning now. That's already something that I've emailed vendors to see if they want to participate in, the same vendors that we had last year. But we can't wait that long to be able to set those things up. Also, the church brings between like 30 and 40 volunteers, and that's something that they also have to work out amongst themselves. It typically an event is 2 to 3 months.
Okay, so because it's been on Halloween, there also is a separation of church and state. Halloween is actually a religious holiday, and it's illegal for a city to sponsor that. So if you were doing that on a separate day or night, which is what I was trying to get out of the legality wise and make it not illegal, but Halloween is a religious holiday. It's a holiday of Wiccan. And so for a city to do that, if people wanna go trick or treat, go for it. They wanna go to a trunk or treat, go for it. But as far as a city doing that, there's the separation there. So that was another reason I was trying to say, let's move it where it not only safety and let's open it up to more people to be able to come and have the parking and that sort of thing. But it was also the fact that a city legally is not allowed, just like we can't have a nativity on Christmas. We're not allowed to do that on Halloween, even though it's been done. So I'm coming in from a different perspective that it's legally not allowed. And so instead of going to the state with that, saying let's salvage that and let's do it in a way that it's not breaking the law of separating church and state. So that was the other backing to that, was let's keep doing it. It's great, it's amazing, but let's do it where it's legal. That's all I'm saying.
I'll make a comment. First of all, it's called Trick or Treat Lane. It has nothing to do with Halloween. And it's held the same night occasionally because of our work schedule. We have to set everything up for that. Again.
On Halloween. It's always on Halloween.
It's the 31st.
Right.
Okay, it is what it is.
Right, so I'm saying let's do it
But it's called Trick or Treat Lane.
to honor Halloween.
We also close for Christmas, but we don't call it Christmas.
It's not about closing,
Okay.
it's about taking city
Or-
money and then using it for something that actually is part of religion.
Since it has to be done at this meeting, you can make a motion.
So I make the motion for all of the different reasons, but mostly starting with the safety of it, all the thousands of kids in the dark walking around, not having the parking. So I make the motion that we move that to a fall festival and still offer the candy and kids can come dressed up, and doing it during the daytime at some point wherever it works with the staff and volunteers being able to come out and make it great in a larger number of people. So I make that motion for a fall festival.
Fail for a second.
I just had one other thing, it's a small thing. Because of all the election signs everywhere, I don't wanna necessarily burden Code Brian, but at some point, can there be some kind of a consensus, to be able to get the snipe signs up? I know that kind of breeds people doing the garage sale signs and the cable signs, and they're kind of getting more and more. And so if there can be like a time period where after that election on August 20th goes, I don't know if there's something already in place, but I know there are more and more of those signs, and then they blow around in the wind. And so once the election goes, if there's something where they can go and get the snipe signs up, so more don't continue.
We got an ordinance on the election signs, I can't remember it offhand.
I don't remember the exact time frame. It's a short time frame after the election. They can be up before the election, but I pull them. I also photograph them. You gotta be very careful, because if they're on personal property, you cannot touch them.
Yeah.
I do pick up the ones in the right of way after photographing where they are. And I pick up snipe signs twice a week throughout the city. And as fast as I pick them up, they put them up, so.
We do have an election sign thing so that people that's running for office can put their signs on the roadway. But I forget how many days prior, Dawn, God, this was years ago when we done that. Do you have?
Yeah, off the top of my head, no, I would have to read the sign ordinance, but
I would too, but I think it's from approval that they can run, that they are able to put their signs out, and it's a short period afterwards, 10 days.
it's a very short window that they.
10 days after the election's held, they're supposed to pull them, most of them don't. And then I
We
go
got
around.
something, but I didn't know what it was.
But again, if they have to be on private property, they cannot be in the right of way, they cannot be attached to any signs, any posts. telephone poles, none of that, so, 10 days, thank you, sir. So it is 10 days after, the election. But again, I can only touch the ones that are in the right of way.
What
Because
about
if they're
prior to the election? Hey.
I'm looking.
He's reading.
Oh, is he reading?
And I don't know the exact time frame. I know it's pretty lean, it's quite a, beforehand, because you gotta get their name out.
Yeah,
Um,
well, that's what I was concerned about before,
yeah,
because I know usually we don't give them very many days after the election.
no, it is 10 days after. So, but again, I can't touch them on private property, so if they're close, I'm gonna leave them. I'm gonna err on the side of caution and leave them. I only pick up the ones that are on private property, and like I said, on the other type signs, the cars, the roofs, all that stuff, they get picked up at least twice a week.
That'll work.
Thank you.
No, I'm seeing you, see how many days they can put them up. Because I know we got it, it was way back probably in the early 90s.
Yeah, I'll look at the sign ordinance. I mean, I have a feeling it's gonna be from the time they qualify until the election, but I'm not 100% sure. And
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
we'll know. Is it?
It is. It's when they qualify.
Anything else?
It's from when they qualify, Suzie, I was correct.
Huh?
It's from when they qualify until after the election.
Fantastic. Okay. Motion in a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.